Kids and cadets, you guys are awesome. Welcome back to Tommy Time. What's shaking? What's baking? What's cooking? What's smoking? So I must have missed a good deal. I'll explain how or why. I've had a guy messaging me on what did I have? I had a Toro actually, a little older than this one. This is a 2017 Toro 725 stow and go. So I sold that one with the bag. He messaged me, do you have any more? I said, not at the moment. And didn't hear from him for a couple days. And then he said, hey, I just bought a Turo, but it's not running. Would you be interested in looking at it? And I told him, sure, to bring it by. I'd check it out. So he just left here about 30 minutes ago. So I says, well, what's the deal? He said, well, I found a Facebook ad. It said 2 mowers for 30. So this 2017. And then he got this one in the deal. He said the lady had him in the backyard. She was having a fence put up. They were in the way. She advertised him for 30 bucks. So he offered 25 and she took it. He was just interested in this one for 25, and she says, well, just take that Bolens for free. That's a 2017. So he got 2 mowers for 25. He said in the picture that the Bolens was stacked on top of this one. She had them stacked too high. So he said the tank was empty. He put his own gas in. I said, how old was your gas? He said, oh, about 6 months old. So I'm thinking either the lady had bad gas and it was ended up in the bowl, because he said the tank was empty and then he filled the tank with his gas, or he polluted the system, the dirty, rotten scoundrel. So I didn't know anything about this. He brought it along and said, hey, if you fix the Turo, would you be willing to barter? And I said, well, what do you have in mind? He said, I'd give you the Bolens if you can fix the Turo. So I said, sure, I'll do that. I'm thinking we got a fuel related issue. This thing is sparkling clean. He had the bag in his pickup truck for this. I says, I don't need the bag to run it. He said, oh, also, can you see if the self-propelled works for me? There was no way for me to test the self-propelled. So, I mean, look at the tread here. 2017, hardly, this thing hardly's been used. Little rust showing here where it sat outside in the backyard. Little rust on the adjuster. This thing is perfect. I'm envious that he stole it for 25 bucks. So he said he'd been looking to Lowe's. He was going to go to Home Depot. He found one at Home Depot, but they were extremely expensive. He's told his wife, said, well, just put it on the Home Depot card. And he says, I'm going to keep looking around. And he said he was looking every day, and then this deal popped up. So he was the first out, and he got the package deal for 25. So good for him. First one out wins the race. Let's see the filter. This thing probably used was one time. Look at the filter. Extremely clean. I kind of looked at the blade when he had unloaded it. Blade is fairly sharp, surprising. Usually I get them in there, a butter knife. The handle of a butter knife, as Freedom Mowers says, one of my subscribers. Hey, Freedom, I need to see some more videos. You haven't posted one in over a year. You had some good content going. Get those videos coming again. Maybe there's something going on. I'm not sure. Everybody has issues. So, but I'd really like to see us start posting again. Let's just do a little quickie quick. I'm going to put this down at the bottom of the tank here and see what I'm pulling up. Water settles at the bottom, so I'm trying to pull up as much water as I can if there's any. A little bit of snot, but I don't see any water. The water could have been down in the bowl already from the lady that sold it to this guy. So let's happy juice it and see what we're going to do next. So I think it'll be a good deal for me if I clean this thing up, get it running. I've got that baby 20, which is a $120 machine. So I'll be way ahead on this deal. Oh, before I do that, let me show you the oil, because he was asking me about oil, something about he had another machine that said oil for life, don't add oil, something about his wife overfilled it. And I says, we can pour it off, and I showed him how to check the dipstick. So I says, this one's overfilled. The oil level is here. It shouldn't go past that top hole. I think he got rid of that mower. He said it was spitting out oil out of the muffler. I don't think he has it anymore, but he was asking me about oil level. I said, yeah, if you overfill, it's got to go somewhere. So maybe the lady overfilled it. He didn't say anything about him adding oil to this. He said he just added gas to fill the tank. Okay, we'll juice this one, and then we'll go over to the Bolens there and see if that's going to start, or if it has a bent shaft or whatever. Wow. Maybe the little bit of water that was in there burned off. This is a surprise, but I'm still going to go through the carburetor. I'm not going to gyp the guy and give it back to him, because if any other water settles out of the tank and gets in the carb, it don't run, then I get an angry customer. I'm going to start out fresh, my own fuel in the tank, clean out the carburetor. Wow. And it did move. I didn't realize this was all-wheel drive. Power reverse. I don't know what that means. But I had tilted it back to get the front wheels off so I could see those move, and the rear wheels engaged. I was like, holy cow, this is an all-wheel drive unit. Don't know power reverse. Well, let's focus our attention on the 2017 Bolens. I guess 2017 is our year of choice today. Okay, I should have brought out the rats. Didn't see this, but we got some ratty rat. They chewed a small hole here. My AB compound will go right in there and seal that up. No problem. It's got fuel in it. Really haven't looked at this thing. Handle was down. I unloaded it. I said, sure. I just looked at the deck. I didn't see any rust through. I knew if I could get this running, I'm looking at 120. These baby 20s go quick. So, oh yeah, this original filter. It's starting to dry rot and crumble right there. So let me put you back up. We should probably check the oil since I don't see any maintenance being done to this thing. I don't want to start it with an empty crankcase, so let's do that. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy so far. I should probably look at the oil and then go to okay, we're acceptable here, and same thing, hardly used on the oil. Here we're at the high mark. I'm gonna flip this thing over and check the blade. Didn't look at the blade. Somebody's kind of put some aftermarket bolts on the handle, which is fine. I hate these little yellow dipsticks. You got to mess with them to get them just right to catch the threads in the case. Kind of pain in the bottom. There we go. Okay, Mr. Green, we're moving you down because we got to check blade. And I'm going to adjust the wheels. Yeah, they're in the middle position. And I always move them down. I'll show you the blade. Wow. Wow that it's not bad. Wow that it's almost sharp. These are two units that nobody's used. There's almost an edge on here. I haven't had two in a row like this where just a light touch up is going to get this sharp again. Cut wet grass. Got some surface rust. That's a no-no. Wash your machine off. See all that? That's all deck rust here attached to the cannabis bale. Okay. They use thin paint on these decks. These are actually painted under here. That little bit of, there's more right there. That little bit of grass is going to stick up there and hold the moisture. And that light coating of paint's going to come off. So once I'm done with that Toro 725, I'll put a little 50-50 acetone ATF on these, let them sit in the sun, and then move them down to the bottom hole, touch up the blade. Well, we really don't know. I'm going to move this stuff off to the side and see if this thing kicks off. Heck, it may even run. We had luck with the Toro. Wouldn't that be a hoot? A hooty hoot if this thing started. Oh, I got a comment. A guy doesn't like my plastic animals. So I don't know why. They can be helpful, and I get to talk to them several times a day because I have no one to talk to. Okay, let's try this. Cable's a little stiff. It's a little rattly. I don't know if it's the recoil or what. But a double shot of that juice. Let's go to town with this 2017. I'm helping the safety brake cable along. I just moved it about 3 millimeters. The cable isn't really pulling it all the way. The cable 746-04661 alpha, or you could do a search 946-04661 alpha. You'll get a hit for one of these cables for these baby 20s. Okay, start, install. I'm going to juice it one time. That was quite a run for a little bit of juice. Maybe we can burn some water off this thing and get it to stay running. Yeah, I got to help the cable along again, so I got to oil up this cable. It's dragging. Well, that hasn't happened to me before. Having two non-runners run. Today's my lucky day. I'm going to go play the lottery. A little bit of clunking. I'm going to try to figure out what that is. Not sure. I'm wondering if the adapter, blade adapter maybe, is funky. I hear a little clatter. And I was thankful I removed the cannabis, because that would have blasted my ankles if I hadn't removed it from the concrete. I do not wish to have blasted ankles. So wow, I'm still in shock. 2 units that started. He didn't even mess with this one. He gave me a running machine. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to be honest with him. I'm going to tell him that it started with some motivation. I don't know if that'll change the deal or not, but our agreement was this one for the fixaroo on the Toro Roo. I'm just going to look at the blade here and see if it's bent. I'm going to pick a mark on the deck. There's plenty of rust marks I can line up. Yep, the blade's bent. One end is further to the ground than the other end. Yeah, so I got to see if it's just the blade or if it's the crankshaft. I'm going to investigate more before I tell him, because I'm looking at the leading edge. I don't see any major gouges where anything was struck. No big chips missing. So hopefully I can put a 20-inch bow tie on it and be good as new. I'll do that after the Toro is done, just to make sure that's our own issue, because if it's a bent crankshaft, then that's a pain in the ass. I'll have to start hammering the shit out of it with a 3-pound sledge So I'm crossing my fingers I can get away with just the blade on this 2017 Bolens 450E. Let me go get a Mountain Dew. I'm going to start on this. I told the guy I'd let him know in a couple hours about the Toro. He wanted to come pick it up. I guess he's anxious to cut his grass. But damn, didn't he get an awesome deal? What do you guys think? 25 bucks for 2 mowers, and they both ran. When does this ever happen? I'm going to the store after this. After I take care of him, I'm going to play a random 6-number lottery ticket. If things got this good, I don't see how they could go downhill. It's going to be a win-win situation. I'm going to win large sums of money and retire to Southwest Florida somewhere. You guys tip your waitress and wait staff. If any of you win the lottery, you need to tip them as well. They are doing an awesome job. Appreciate you coming out. Please like and subscribe. I think my customer got a tremendous deal. Comments below, what do you think? 2017 Toro, hardly used, with the bag. Showed him how to stow it in his garage. He was worried about leaking oil, and I say no. I told him no, they're designed like this now to take up less space. You can set it straight up. So I think he may try that when he gets it back. Anywho, appreciate you guys. Have a good day today. Come back and see me. Come back and see me with the plastic farm animals. They're going to be here as long as I am. They do an awesome job.